Hi, I'm Tom Hess, and I'm glad that you've come here to check out this video as you were searching for information about how to teach others how to play guitar. Now, probably when you began doing this search and stumbling upon this video to learn more about teaching others how to play guitar, you probably are looking for some specific things that you can use over and over and over again, like maybe a method or a strategy or a template that you can use so that when students come in to take lessons from you, you'll already know what to do first, what to do second, what to do third, what to do fourth. You have a whole system in place that seems very logical and will take students through a progression, logically from the beginning level to the intermediate level to the advanced level. And this is a very common approach, especially that new teachers take, or teachers that have been teaching for a while and just want to increase their skills. But I'm here to tell you that this is not a good system, this is not a good method, this is not a good goal to have, to search for a single method or a single process or a single template or strategy in which you should be teaching students. Because in fact, if that was all that we needed to do, then all that you would need to do is simply write a book, all your students would buy it, and they would all become great musicians, right? Well, as you know, it doesn't work that way. And probably, as you know, many guitar books, guitar instructional books, also fail to transform the lives of beginning guitar players into advanced guitar players, right? I mean, you've probably read a lot of those books like I have. And although there's a lot of good information in books, the books themselves are usually written in a very logical, methodical, step-by-step process. And it makes perfect sense, but it just doesn't work, does it? No. That's why people come to you for lessons, because they also tried it most of the time and it didn't work. Or it didn't work for the majority of the students. So here's what you should be focusing on, okay? Don't look for a single method. You want to look for multiple methods. So usually there are two schools of thought. The first school of thought would be everything that I was just describing to you, which is that you want to have a systematic approach, a proven effective strategy that works with students. And as I already explained, and you probably already know, great theory, but it just doesn't work. And then there's the other side of the argument, which you hear sometimes people being very rebellious about that idea and just say, well, throw all that stuff out the window, and there is no system. You just teach everybody on an individual basis, and you just kind of wing it. Well, both of those extremes are not effective and are not so good, and perhaps that's why most guitar students never become great guitar players themselves, because the approach that's often used in lessons is just not very effective. So, what is effective? Well, I can tell you from teaching several hundred students and having many of them develop to become professional guitar players and music teachers themselves, I have a lot of experience in this area. And basically what I'm going to advise you to do is look for a set of specific strategies that you can use for each major area that students have problems with or struggles with or they have challenges with. Okay, so let me give you an example of this. One common challenge that music students have is they have a difficult time taking a basic music theory concept and applying it to the guitar, seeing how it lays out on the guitar, understanding why we would even need to know this stuff, how it's going to be used, what can we do with it once we know it, how can we build upon that. Okay, so that's one common problem, and there are a set of different strategies or different methods that you can use, maybe 3 or 4 common ones, that if strategy number 1 doesn't work with the student in front of you, you just go to the second one or the third one, and for sure one of those is going to work as long as the strategies are good. But if you only have one way to do it, the way it would be like in a book, for example, that's not so good. And if you have no ways of doing it, you just kind of just try whatever, you're very often going to go through the trial and error process with a lot of error. And it's not really fair to the student, is it, to be the guinea pig while you're trying to figure out how to teach. So what would be the best would be for you to have a set of systems which are going to work in different cases with students on each of their major challenges. So what I'm going to invite you to do is come to my website. I've got some free resources for you there at the link below. And you should start off with some self-assessments that are going to help you define for yourself what your core strengths and weaknesses are. And I bet that you're probably going to discover some things that you may not have even considered before or thought about. And then I've got some other assessments which are going to ask you some very targeted questions, both about how you set up your teaching business and where your income is coming from, and some specific things about your guitar teaching skills. Now, once you fill out these assessments, what I'm going to do is take a look at all those answers, and then I'm going to provide to you some direct feedback and advice on each one of those questions that you answered. And then I'm going to show you, how you can improve in this area, or how you can improve this weakness to make it a strength, or what you can do here, how to implement this. Okay, so they're very specific things that you can take action on and implement right away. In addition, I've got a great video that does two things at once. It's going to enable you to increase your benefit that you give to your students, the value to your students, and at the same time, with the same method and strategy, it's going to help you to make a lot more money than you probably even imagine that a guitar teacher can make. Okay, that video is about 20 minutes long, so it's over the 10-minute limit that YouTube allows to put up videos. So I can only really give it to you at my site because it's just too big. Come to the link below, check out those assessments, take my free advice feedback as I give it to you, and then check out that video. You'll be so glad that you did, and it's going to open up your eyes and open up a lot of possibilities to you for your benefit and for all the students that you're going to have, as a result.